Hi there guys, so just a very quick one tonight because I'm full of cold and I'm just generally feeling really crappy tonight, really shitty. But there are basically three things that I want to talk about tonight. First of all, I want to start off with Leeds United. It's been a pretty decent day today. Well no, I'll go on to that bit in a bit. Earlier today it was announced that we have purchased back the beverage and food rights. So basically, we are supplying our own food and beverages, so it's not done from an outside company, which doesn't sound like much, but it is a step in the right direction, possibly a step in the right direction to finally buy back Ellen Road and the Thorpe Park, something like that. So that was good. It was then also announced that we got a big sponsor, I can't remember who it was with, but for the South Stand, something Enterprise possibly, which again, really good deal, more money into the club. And literally just about 30 minutes ago, news has broken that we have got Tom Adeyemi on a 1-year loan with a deal to possibly sign him at the end of it from Cardiff. Now Tom Adeyemi is 23 years old, midfielder. Like I say, he's been at Cardiff, he's spent time at Brentford, at Bradford City I believe as well, but most notably I think he did best at Birmingham City. He's known for his pace as well, which is exactly what we need. Whether he's a winger or not, I'm not sure whether he's central midfield or winger, so that's really good, really happy with that. And the best thing I love about it is that no journalist had picked up on it, and no one had picked up on this transfer, and no one knew that he'd had a medical at the club. So people thinking that nothing's going on when people say nothing doesn't mean that nothing's going on, so that kind of shuts them up basically. So yeah, not been a bad day for Leeds United. Second thing I want to talk about is regarding the very sudden and tragic death of Satoru Iwata, who for gamers out there will probably know, but for those of you who don't know, he was the president and CEO of Nintendo, and yeah, he very sadly has died at the age of just 55, which is just no age to go to the bastard that is cancer. And it really is a sad passing and a great loss to the gaming industry. Now, I've said on here in a lot of the gaming videos that I do, especially in the most recent E3 video, you know, I've come in for a lot of criticism for Nintendo sort of over recent years really, especially with the way they've dealt with things on YouTube. I haven't really agreed with basically anything or the way that they've gone about things, but since I was a child I've had such a love for Nintendo. My very first gaming console was the Super Nintendo when I was about 7 or 8 years old. After that I went on to the N64. You know, I've had various Game Boys, I've had the Wii. You know, these are all consoles with games that I've absolutely adored. And since 2000, well I think since 2002, Iwata was president of the company. He joined as a director in 2000, but even before that he was at a group called HAL Industry, I think. HAL Laboratory, sorry. Where he was basically a programmer and a coder on lots of big games like Kirby. Apparently he was meant to have single-handedly coded Earthbound, and also worked on games like Smash Bros. You know, from the games that he's had hands-on experience with, you know, so much inspiration has come from those games, and you know, given so much inspiration to other game designers, developers, programmers alike, in bringing us even more games that we enjoy. So he has really affected millions of gamers out there and done so much, even if you don't think that you have, even if you haven't played any of the games that he's been involved in, chances are you've probably played a game that was maybe influenced by one of his games that he designed. But even as the Nintendo president, like I say, over the recent years, can't say there's been a lot of things that I've really liked from a Nintendo, and unfortunately it's sad to see the decline that they're going through at the moment. But he brought them through such amazing times, brought through such great gaming systems. The Wii and Wii U, even though not doing well now, at the time was such a brand new and innovative you know, system to use, and brought a lot of fun and brought it back to the kids and the family kind of side of gaming. You know, he was a CEO and president who loved communication with the fans, and he was very happy to talk to fans. He would open kind of Q&A sessions, and he was very different. You know, a lot of CEOs and people don't do that at a lot of gaming kind of places, gaming companies, but he was very happy to do that. Was it last year or the year before, when Nintendo made major losses on certain parts of the business, he basically for quite a few months halved his salary to make sure that people at the company wouldn't lose their jobs, which is just amazing, really. And I think it kind of sums himself up with the quote that he said about himself, which was, on my business card, I am president of Nintendo. In my head, I'm still a programmer, but at heart, I'm a gamer. And I think a lot of us probably took him for granted a little bit. And like I say, even if you didn't think you were being kind of influenced by, you know, Mr. Iwata's presence in the gaming world, chances are you probably were. And I think we owe him a hell of a lot. And I think it shows today, the amount of outpouring of grief that has been there online for him just shows how much, you know, he will be missed. Like I say, at 55, that is no age, and it actually shows. Recently at E3, you know, I kind of panned the puppet style thing they had going on there, but looking back on it now, obviously the reason they kind of went along those lines is because they wouldn't have wanted to show such an ill man, which people didn't realise, which is sad, and which it makes it even more unexpected and sudden. So yeah, we have a lot to be thankful for Mr. Iwata and some of the things that he's done. So a big loss to the gaming community there. And lastly, I want to talk about something. Well, I suppose that was a bit serious there, but something that may cause, I don't know, I don't want to say controversy. I don't think it should be that controversial. I'm hoping some people will see why I'm saying this and where I'm coming from. But over the weekend, some people may have seen on the news that a 16-year-old lad, that's 16 years old, not a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, 16 years old guy, lad, was walking along a freight train, a station freight train, on an open rail line, walking on top of it, and he basically touched the overhead cables and was killed instantly, of course. Now obviously this is a very sad and a very tragic event. I feel so sorry for the family and friends of him. You know, it's such a terrible thing to happen, it really is. However, and stick with me on this, I find it very difficult to feel any sadness or sympathy with the lad himself, and it's for this reason. When something like this happens, or a lot of things happen on the railway, when kids or people mess around on the railway, the first thing people do is look at how safety can be improved on the railway. And in some cases it should be, you know, in some cases railway crossings haven't been kept up to well or maintained very well, and that's fair enough. But a lot of the times it is just down to people's sheer ignorance, stupidity, and just downright, you know, just ignoring the clear warnings and the risks that are there in front of you. Now, I did an apprenticeship on the railway, and during doing that I obviously learnt about all the risks and all the dangers on the railway. I saw a lot of photographs, I heard a lot of stories, and I saw some really nasty videos of things that happen on there, just to basically drill it into our heads how dangerous it is working and being around a working railway basically 24/7. So to see kids and people just being so very nonchalant when acting around the railway, it really does make me more angry rather than upset for them or sympathetic towards them. And it really does make me angry that the first thing with what's happened this weekend, people are thinking, oh well, how can we make that area more safe and stop people doing this? The way to stop people doing it is just to not do it in the first place. if he hadn't been walking along, I mean, why would you do it anyway? But if he hadn't been walking along the top of that freight train, it just wouldn't have happened. Whether he's managed to get through a fence that wasn't properly secure or not, he's still gone out of his way to do that. It was his choice to do that. And for me, like I say, it is a very sad situation, but it's one of those where, well, if you're going to take that risk, then you've got to face the consequences, and he's paid the ultimate price. You know, he's lost his life, and for what? Just a little bit of fun walking along a train? I mean, it beggars belief. I mean, getting so close to the other overhead wires, I think it's 25,000 volts that run through there, and, you know, I have seen a video of what happens if you touch that wire, and, yeah, you won't know what's hit you, and you're almost certain to, you know, your insides will just instantly turn to mush. It's not nice. It's really not nice. So like I say, I just get very angry when I see people straight away looking toward the safety side of things, when really I think more kids need to be educated in school about the safety of acting and being around, you know, working railway lines, because there's only so much safety boundaries you can put up, you know, with our railways. There's only so much you can cope with. Then the rest needs to come down to your common sense and your head and thinking, you know what, today I'm not going to go wandering on a railway where trains are constantly going past at 170 mile an hour, or I'm not going to walk on top of a train where I'm about 5 feet away from an electric line that's going to send 25,000 volts through me. Like I say, it is such a sad thing for his family and friends to go through. I'm not disputing that, but he paid the ultimate price for his stupidity, I'm afraid. And it might be harsh for me to say, but for me it's the truth. It's just the way I feel. And I think instead of more needing to be done safety wise around the railway, there needs to be more education for kids, because I mean, we didn't even have tons of I mean, I remember maybe one lesson we learnt about, you know, safety and danger around railways, but there wasn't that much. But even then, surely in your head, I was never thinking, oh, I really wish I was playing on a railway line today. I just don't understand kids. You know, well, I don't even want to say kids, because like I say, he was 16 years old, so he had a head on him. He knew what he was doing, and there's just clearly no common sense there. So, sorry for getting a bit serious there, guys, but like I say, it's just something I wanted to get off my chest, really, and talk about. So, there we go. I'm keeping it quick because I want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep and get some rest because I feel like poop. So, yeah, question time video went up tonight, so I hope you enjoyed that one. And yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see you very soon.